Our next guest, I fully agree with our next guest, and he says big technology has killed privacy. Steve Hilton is with us. He's the host of The Next Revolution with Steve Hilton. Steve, right from the get-go, I think the letter is the most private form of communication these days. But go ahead, make your case. Privacy is dead.
It is dead. I'm very glad that we're in full agreement on this. That's always reassuring, a nice way to start my morning. I think that it's something we all have to be really, really conscious of now, because basically it's very simple. Everyone, by the way, not absolutely everyone, we might get to that in a minute, I'm not part of this, but pretty much everyone has a computer in their pocket that is a tracking device that monitors everywhere you go, everything that you do, and sends that information to a range of different companies. Now, we just saw now with that story about Uber, sometimes the use to which this information can be put can be socially helpful. But there's no question that the notion of privacy, that you can go somewhere, you can do things, you can express views that are just personal to you, that's gone. We debated that on my show, The Next Revolution, this Sunday, and our guests right across the board said it's dead. And the worst thing, one of our guests, Ben Glee, put it really well. He said, the one thing that George Orwell got wrong about 1984 and Big Brother was that this tracking and surveillance was not imposed on us by the government. We opted into it. We have chosen to give away our privacy. That's the interesting thing about it.
Is there any way out? You said that it applies to almost everybody. Well, who does it not apply to?
It doesn't apply to me, Stuart, because I don't have a phone. I remember the last time we discussed this, you said I couldn't live without this thing. I do, actually. I haven't had a phone for 6 years. So that's one, you could say, rather extreme way of avoiding it. But actually what's interesting is to think about whether the market could provide a solution here, because you're already seeing companies grow up that are really responding to the concerns people have about privacy. For example, after our show this Sunday, I was contacted by a company called Privacy Mate, who promised to stop your information from being handed over. There's a search engine called DuckDuckGo that a lot of people use, increasing numbers of people use, which is an alternative to Google, and they don't track your information. So there are solutions there, and it could be that the market might help us here. But there's another direction we've got to be conscious of.
I'm out of time, Steve.
Our great... I just want to mention one thing. Elon Musk, our hero of Falcon Heavy, is developing something called Neuralink, which is a brain-machine interface that will track not just what you do and where you go, but what you think. So that's coming around the corner.
Well, I'm glad you advised me about that, Steve. Watch the Steve show, The Next Revolution with Steve Hilton, Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Fox News Channel.